Hello, I'm Fred Chavez. I want to welcome you to another episode in ThriveWell Cancer Foundation Diva&Dude program. Tonight we're going to be doing some Tai Chi together. We'll just be doing a few Tai Chi moves. We don't actually have the space here to do Tai Chi, but we're going to be doing a lot of stretching, and I want us to really kind of work with the upper torso today, especially in opening up, breathing deeply. So it's good to be here with you today. What I want to bring to today's class, if you will, is a lot of mindfulness, meditation aspects of it. So when we're doing the movements, we might be doing fewer movements today, but I want us to be doing them very mindfully. What I mean by that is I want us to feel within the body what it is that we are doing, and not just going through the movements very quickly, okay? But to actually get a feel for what we're doing. So with the first movements that we're going to be doing, I'm going to ask you to call your attention to your palms, because we're going to be doing some stretching that will include stretching through the arm all the way into the palms. So in acupuncture or acupressure, there's a point known as Lao Gong, right in the middle of your palm. If you make a fist, where your middle finger is in the middle of your palm is pericardium 8. You don't need to know that specifically, but that point there is very important in Qigong and Tai Chi training. So what I want us to do is to feel that, is to actually bring our fingers back just slightly, and you feel a stretch in the palm. And that's what I mean by bringing mindfulness to the movement. So that when we're doing these first few movements, I will point it out. We're going to go through them very slowly, the first couple of them. But we're feeling that stretch all the way into the palm. All right? So let's begin by standing in a good Tai Chi Qigong posture, meaning about hip width apart, meaning the front of the hips, or shoulder width apart. The feet as parallel as possible, equal weight distribution on both sides of the body, as well as in the feet. We don't want to be having our weight toward the front of the foot, nor back of the heels. So right about centered over the arch, as well as from the outside to the inside, centered, equally balanced. And then creating this nice straight line as we stand up nice and straight from our nose down to our navel. We'll begin by just taking a couple of nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose if possible. Good, and then let's begin to move the arms, breathing in and out slowly. One more before we move into the very first exercise. So we'll continue with the breath in, breathing out as the hands come down. And here's where I want you to activate the palms. So pressing down as if they're trying to touch the floor. You will look down, and then you're going to press them forward, straight in front of you. So those palms are pressing out. You want to feel the stretch there in your palms by pulling the fingers back just slightly. And then up, as if you're trying to touch the ceiling. Feel that palm stretch. And then relax the body, breathing out. So let's see if we can bring that mindfulness to that. Pressing down, breathing in all the way up to the top. Stretch. Breathing out, relax the body. So this is often known as opening and closing. When we are stretching the body, we're opening all the joints, spaces between the vertebrae, stretching those muscles, and then we relax everything. That's known as closing. So here we go. A few more. Nice deep breath in. And out. Bring your head back to level, arms back to the side. One more time. Then we're going to change the movement of the hands a little bit. We're going to bring the hands with the palms facing up, still kind of pressing up, and then we turn them up. Stretch. So bringing them right through the center of the body, right in front. So again, bend at the wrists, palms are stretching up, turn the hands up, look up, stretch over, breathe out. Let's do one more just like that. Very good. Now we're going to bring the palms facing up. Same idea, pulling the fingers back slightly so you feel the stretch in the palm for this exercise again. They come up halfway, both of them stretching up as if they're trying to touch the ceiling already. One's going to turn up, in this case my right hand, so you might do your left. The other one will turn down and press down. So in this case here, one is pressing up, the other is pressing down. This is known sometimes as touching heaven, touching the earth, or separating yang and yin. I'm getting a nice stretch through the arm all along the side of this body here. Then we'll reverse, bring the hands toward each other, stretch those palms. The other one goes up, one goes down. Okay, so once again, this time I'm getting the good stretch along the left side of my body. It would be your right side. Let's continue. Breath in. Once the hands cross, we breathe out. Good. Now we're going to add one movement to this. It involves the head and the neck. So as my right hand is going up, I'm going to turn and look over to my left. So it'll be the opposite for you. Your left hand may be up, you're looking over to your right. And then we go the other direction. Breath in. Once the hands cross, we're breathing out. Turn your head slowly. With your eyes, try to look behind you as far as possible, so we can engage the eyes as well by exercising them. We'll finish with my left, your right, going up. And then just bring it down, bring the head back to the center. Another slight variation of that particular movement will be going off to the side. So this is a little bit more of a lateral stretch. So what I'm going to do is come here. So you may be stretching off to your left. I'm pressing that palm, pressing this palm back, trying to get this nice long line of a stretch. You can feel that all the way into this hip area here. And then I'm lifting my heel up off the back, in the back or off the floor. And so I'm getting a nice stretch along the leg. So pressing out and pressing back. And coming back here, crossing those hands, going that other direction. Yeah, so just nice movement. Breath in, out. We're doing these movements a little more slowly today so that we can bring that mindfulness to the movement, make it a little bit more like a meditation. Good. You set that heel down and bring that left arm down. Good. Make sure you're still standing in a good balanced position here. And what we're going to do is greeting the dawn. Actually, on this one here, we want to bring our feet together, okay? So, but even though the feet are closer together, you still want to be balanced. You don't want to have your weight shifted over to one side. You want to be nice and balanced, standing up nice and tall. On this one here, we're going to throw those hands back. So what happens here is I'm actually feeling into the opposite side of that hand to bring those fingers back, okay, as far behind me as possible. I'm creating this nice open line across the collarbone area, opening up the whole upper chest, the whole upper rib cage as I throw those hands back, all right? So this is the opening part of it. I'm breathing in as I turn to my left, so you might be turning to your right, and hands come up. Here now I'm stretching up through the fingertips and then relaxing them down without bending over. We do not want to bend over at all. And then I will turn once again, open up, a nice deep breath in. And breath out. The more we can deepen our breath, taking nice deep breaths in through the nose, we are creating more nitric oxide within our body system, which helps to improve blood flow. So we can even keep that in mind as well. If you have poor blood circulation, sometimes that might be tied into our breathing patterns. Now we're going to switch directions here. So I will throw my hands back here on your left, my right. Breathe in, turn the other direction. Breathing out. Doing these exercises, I always feel as if I'm growing maybe an inch or two. I know that I'm not, but my whole upper torso, which has maybe been compressed throughout the day, just feels very open, very stretched. The breath enters much easier. Once more. So many of these exercises, I try to do them in the morning. We sleep at night and we're not sure, sometimes how we sleep. And we might be really compressed underneath the covers, however you might sleep, maybe in a fetal position. So in the morning, I want to make sure that I'm breathing properly and opening things up. So this one's called Greeting the Dawn, okay? And I joke, but I oftentimes go out in my backyard and just start beginning to do this exercise. These other exercises too. Sometimes when we wake up in the morning, we're still kind of sleepy. What do? Nice big yawn. Kind of resets the whole body system, okay? So these exercises kind of mimic that a little bit. So again, we're working on this whole rib cage area and the spine area. So back to our nice Tai Chi posture here, okay? Now, in the previous one, we were turning and our hips were moving. In this one, we do not want the hips to move. So I'm going to be turning only at the waist. You can see my hips are still facing straight ahead. Now I can't turn very far, right? So just a little bit off to the side. If you feel your hips moving or your legs moving, you've got to bring that back into the steady position, okay? What we are doing here is working on the lower lumbar area. Who doesn't have some lower back issues, okay? Even just throughout the day, even if they're not serious, you can just get stiff through the day with our lower back issues. So I'm going to turn to the side and show this to you so that you see when I turn to the side, I cannot really turn that far. My arm is not going to go back that far, okay? Now, if I move my hips, now you see how far my arm goes back? That is what we do not want, okay? So you can just do this here. Arm goes back and then it comes forward. This is known as swimming dragon. I'm going to face you now. Hands once again are pressing down toward the floor. By the way, let your weight just kind of sink down, okay? Right down here. We call this the lower Dan Qian, the lower energy center. Just let all of your weight just kind of sink into that area here, okay? And then pressing down here. I'm going to turn to my right. It'll be your left. So just turning at the waist, arm reaching back. And this is like I'm taking a swimming stroke. It comes down in front while the other one goes back. If you see my legs moving, please yell at me. because we do not want this. They must stay very still. Do this movement, this slowly, 3 minutes, every day. You might have to do it a couple of times through the day. And watch your lower back issues just go away. What is happening in my lower spine or the lumbar area in the back, it's as if two hands are massaging those muscles back and forth as I turn. I often describe it as having this wash towel in your hands, and it's nice and wet, and you're wringing it out. Okay? The muscles are turning opposite directions. So it's just very good. Now, for those of you who need to bring more mindfulness to this because you keep moving your hips and you're not really getting the benefit of it, I would ask you to take a seat. Okay? Because when you take a seat, your hips can't move. Okay? So you could just do it here. Now I kind of sunk into this sofa a little bit, but if you can sit on a harder chair toward the front of the chair, maybe it has no arms on it, and you do this here. In fact, I would suggest that you also try this because then you'll really notice a difference. So in case standing you were moving the hips, you'll notice the difference then in the lumbar area doing it this way. Yeah? All right, so we'll come to a pause on that one there. You would finish by just bringing the arms back in front, still pressing down, still weight sinking down into the lower belly area. Yeah? Good. Okay. So, again, we've been working the spine, we've been working the hips somewhat, turning the hips, keeping them still, working the lumbar area of the spine. We want to begin to come further up that spine. Okay? So with this next exercise that we're going to do, again, some of these exercises involve dragon sequences, what they call them in Tai Chi and Qigong and Diva&Dude. Normally when they're talking about a dragon, they're talking about the spine in the case of exercises. So everything that we're doing in dragon exercises is trying to work with the spine, create some space between the vertebrae. All right? So I'm going to stand sideways to show you this exercise here. My right foot is in front of my left. Okay? And you'll see that the feet are turned opposite directions. My right's turned off to the right, 45 degrees. The left one's turned off to the left, 45 degrees. My weight is currently on my back leg, but when I complete the exercise, I'm going to pivot that back foot and put the weight onto that front leg. So the lower body movement will simply be this. The front foot never moves, okay? The back one pivots, so it turns and it shifts the weight to the front and then to the back, okay? Now, my right leg is in front. I'm going to begin with my right arm in front. Once again, kind of extend those fingers to engage and activate the palm. Left hand simply by the side of the body. Weights on the back leg. I'm going to breathe in first. As I breathe out, shift weight forward. I'm going to bring the right hand back. I can turn the palm up while the left one goes forward. Now, what I want you to see here is this line that I'm creating all the way across. So it's as if I have those bands that we use, exercise bands, and I'm pulling it across, so there's some resistance here. I'm creating this open line all the way back here to the right shoulder, okay? Right hand does not have to go behind the body, simply right to the side of the body, and that was a breath out. Okay? So I'm coming forward here, and then again. We'll do one more on this side. Good. Okay. I will turn the other direction with my left foot in front now. The right one is in the back. My left arm begins in front. Right one begins by the side of the body. Weight is on the back leg. I breathe in, and as I breathe out, I shift weight forward, turn the body. So this is working more up into the thoracic area of the spine. Coming back. Must turn your body. What I mean by that is, you can see I'm not just showing straight ahead, I'm turning my body, right? It's twisting from the hips. Shift that weight forward. Once more. Very good. All right. So that's known as walking dragon. Okay? Now we're going to do one more that takes us all the way up into the cervical area. This is known as, well, it comes from a series of dragon movements known as drunken dragon, but this is known as a spinal wave, is what it is. So I'm going to tap my left foot out, but my weight's really in my right leg. I'm just touching down with my toes. Stand up nice and tall. You can bring your hands up here. They're not really that important. What is important is that when we're going to go bending over the front leg, we are rounding the back and relaxing the head and the neck. So it's not this, okay, it's this. Even if that's as far down as I can go, we want to let that head and neck relax, okay? So here we go. You stand up slowly. And again. We'll do a third one here. And do stand up nice and straight. So we don't want to come here with that head still bent. Stand up nice and straight. We're going to switch to the other side and do it on this side. Again, it's not important if you can't go down and touch your toes, that's okay. I'm going to do one here. Just going down to my calf. But notice my head and neck very relaxed. And then standing up straight. Last one here. Good. All right. At the same time doing that, you might feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings as well. Okay. The primary focus of that is just to work the spine all the way up into the cervical area of the spine. Beginning right up here at the top of the upper back, right on up into the neck area, okay? All right, so in the few minutes that we have left, doing these exercises and coming and doing these classes, most of you that attend my classes realize that we went through the month of April, which I always commemorate because it's Jazz Appreciation Month in April and National Poetry Month in April. So I always read poetry and play jazz during my classes, okay? Well, I didn't have any jazz here to play for you because jazz, you just kind of have to listen to it, you know? But I would suggest to you that if you want to listen to some jazz and learn about a jazz musician, one of the greats, John Coltrane, if you have Netflix, go and look up the documentary called Chasing Train. It's a very moving documentary. Great documentary on his music and the man, John Coltrane. But I do have this for you today. I did bring a poem. As I said, I'm kind of focused today on meditation. And so I'm going to lower the music here just a bit, because I want you to really be able to hear this. It's a poem by Mary Oliver called On Meditating, Sort of. Meditation, so I've heard, is best accomplished if you entertain a certain strict posture. Frankly, I prefer just to lounge under a tree. So why would I think I could ever be successful? Some days I fall asleep or land in that even better place, half asleep, where the world, spring, summer, autumn, winter, flies through my mind in its hearty ascent and its uncompromising descent. So I just lie like that while distance and time reveal their true attitudes. They never heard of me and never will or ever need to. Of course, I wake up finally thinking, how wonderful to be who I am, made out of earth and water. My own thoughts, my own fingerprints, all that glorious temporary stuff. Mary Oliver on meditating, sort of. Okay. So I'm going to finish today with a very, very short meditation. So I'm going to take a seat here. You don't have to take a seat in doing this meditation. It's actually a technique. It's called heart lock technique. What I want you to do is just three things. One, the first thing would be to breathe in as if it's coming in through the chest or the heart area. The second thing will be to activate a feeling or an emotion. Today we're going to work with love. And you really want to feel love. So maybe you think about somebody that you love, or someone that really loves you, or an experience where you really felt loved. And then the third thing that we will do, we'll begin to radiate it throughout our body and then radiate it out to everyone else. All right? So you don't have to close your eyes while doing this meditation. But if it helps you, please feel free. Just sit comfortably. Begin as if your breath is coming in and out through your heart area. Breathing just a little bit more slowly and more deeply. At a pace that is comfortable for you. And then secondly, begin to activate love within your hearts. So every breath begins to bring more and more love, that feeling, that experience of love that you might be thinking about. And just let it radiate throughout your being, throughout your body. Every breath in and out through the hearts. A little slower, a little deeper. Activating love. Radiating it throughout your body. And then if you're able, radiate it out into the space that you're in, into the room, toward anyone else or any other creatures that may be around you. Just let it fill your environment. Let it fill you. So it's a very simple meditation. I would suggest that maybe you practice that meditation for 5 minutes, okay? We cut it a little bit short this evening for time's sake, but for about 5 minutes doing that. And see how it changes you, changes your reference points emotionally. You can substitute anything that you want. You might substitute compassion or care or joy in place of love. One day work on something different, okay? See how it changes your emotional reference points, okay? There's this such thing as neuroplasticity, but also the heart works with that in doing that. It's been so good to be here with you today. I want you to try these things and know that there are more videos coming. So stay tuned to the ThriveWell YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.